Missing Michael Vaughn, Monkey Mondays, where we only cover the facts.
Is coming to a close.
Renewed search for a 5-year-old boy named Michael Monkey Vaughn.
It's been 9 months since 5-year-old Michael Vaughn
missing in the summer of
are working to bring 5-year-old Michael Vaughn home. 2 days since
the search for Michael
5-year-old
Vaughn, boy out
was
Fruitland,
last
continues this
seen
week.
outside his neighborhood in Fruitland.
Please, please, bring Michael home, please, please, please.
He's beyond missed and beyond loved, and we need him. We need him.
He's coming home, and we're waiting for him. We're all waiting for him. Every single one of us are waiting for him, and we are going to bring him home.
Long, thorough investigation. The family is not a focus of our investigation at this point. They are continuing to fully cooperate with us. Today, as members of this community, we continue to agonize with the family.
We want to thank all of you, all of the officers, all of the agencies. You guys have keep working so hard, and we're gonna get him home. We're not gonna stop. We're gonna find him.
It is tough. We've lived this case from the time that it began, and but I'm telling you, I've got a very strong, committed group of people here, and they come in here every day, and we're in this grind, and they are committed to finding Michael, and we're just not going to stop. Everybody should know that we are not going to stop until we uncover the truth in its entirety, I would say.
Nestled in the picturesque landscape of Plea County, Idaho, Fruitland stands as a serene city flanked by the meandering Snake and Piet rivers. This quaint settlement finds itself strategically placed adjacent to U.S. Route 95 within the Treasure Valley of southwest Idaho, approximately 50 miles to the west of Boise on the cusp of the Oregon border. Fruitland serves as an integral component of the Ontario micropolitan area. However, amidst its tranquil facade, Fruitland finds itself thrust into the global spotlight during a warm summer evening in 2021, not for its horticulture bounty, but due to the perplexing disappearance of 5-year-old Michael Vaughn. Michael's zest for life and curious nature paint a vibrant portrait of a young boy enamored with exploration. His days are filled with joyous pursuits, from delving into the earth's depths to immersing himself in the digital realms of Minecraft. Michael's interests are as diverse as they are fervent. His fascination with astronomy sees him gazing at the celestial wonders of the night sky, while his love of superheroes finds expression in his favorite movies, including The Mandalorian, Spider-Man, and Batman. His playful spirit extends to his choice of toys, ranging from monster trucks and Hot Wheels to the intricate world of Legos. Moreover, Michael's fondness for outdoor escape sees him relishing moments at the park, camping expeditions, and thrilling adventures at water parks and amusement centers. On July 27, 2021, Brandi Neal, Michael's devoted mother, greets the day with a sense of anticipation, knowing that it marks her final day of work before a well-deserved respite. Her thoughts are consumed by the prospect of cherished moments with her spirited children, one of which is affectionately known as Monkey. As she bids farewell to her family that morning, leaving her children with their father Tyler, little does she know that it will herald the onset of an unfathomable nightmare.
July 27th was the date?
Yep.
2021?
Correct.
You're in Fruitland, Idaho.
Yes.
Your little 5-year-old boy has been missing, as you said, for a very long time, since July 27th. Can you take me back to that day when he went missing? Can you tell me what happened?
I got up that morning. Monkey was laying on the couch. He was playing the Nintendo Switch. I had to be at work at 12:30 p.m. that day. That was my 8th day of work straight. I had started a new job Tyler and I were working opposite schedules and getting it worked out. He had worked at that job for a few months prior. Monkey didn't want me to go to work. He wanted to play because we're always outside. It's summertime and we're always outside. He loves being outside, and that's what we do when I don't work, is we're outside doing something at all times, whether it's camping, going to the park, playing football in the backyard, digging in the dirt. I went to work, was working my shift. I went to my lunch at about 4:00, and I called, because I call always on my lunch break, check on the kids, check how everybody's doing. It's a handful when you got 4 kids by yourself.
Yes.
So Tyler was home with all the kids, and
is he Monkey's dad, or is he?
So Tyler is Michael and Buggy. It's Aria, our 2-year-old, their biological father.
Okay.
I called. It was just a short, quick call. How's everybody doing? Oh, we just came inside. We've been playing outside all day. Monkey's sitting on the couch, playing the Switch, and Buggy's just went down for a nap. And I said, okay, I'll see you guys tonight. And told Monkey I'd be home to tuck him in, because I tuck even my 15-year-old. I still do it.
Good mother.
I told him that I'd see him tonight and that I loved him. And he said, I love you too, Mama. And I told Tyler I loved him and that I would see him later that night. And I got a phone call, which is odd, because I typically, I don't really answer phone calls, but it was from Tyler, and it was at 7:05. I thought it was 7:04, but it was 7:05, which was odd. I'm like, okay, what happened? And he said he couldn't find Michael. And I was dealing with a customer at that moment, and it's, I don't answer my phone calls when I'm at work, but it was Tyler, and obviously if he's calling me in the middle of my shift, there's something going on.
Right.
Otherwise he would have just sent a text.
Right.
He said, I was like, what do you mean you can't find Michael? And he's like, I can't find him anywhere. Like, I've looked through the house. He was yelling his name. He was looking outside, and I was dealing with a very specific kind of customer. So I just put my phone in my pocket. I left Tyler on call, in my pocket. I had a meat coat on. Picked it up in middle of talking and to the customer too. And I was like, well, did you find him yet? And it was pure panic, pure fear. And I panicked. And I set my phone down. One of my coworkers walked by, and I'm still trying to deal with this customer. And she, are you okay? And I was like, please go get my coworker, the butcher, he was out having a break. And I said, I have a family emergency. And at this point, I get completed with the customer, and I walk into the office, and he comes in, and he's like, what's going on? And I said, Tyler can't find Michael. And I just kind of stood there for a moment, and Tyler's still on the phone, and I just kind of froze. And my coworker was like, go. And I ran to the locker room. I grabbed my purse. I ran out the store. I ran to my vehicle, and I drove as fast as I could here. And coming into the neighborhood at the park, I saw a cop car at the park. And
how far away is your work to here?
Typically it takes about 13 minutes to get to and from.
Okay.
I got stopped at a red light at Gateway. And if anybody drives in Idaho, that light takes forever. You always are sitting there. There's a lot of traffic through there. And I got home. I didn't even park. I kind of just threw it in park in the middle of the road. Tyler was talking to a police officer, and Tyler's dad, Grandpa, had just gotten home a few moments before me, apparently. He had been out getting a haircut and, doing Grandpa stuff for the day. Went and visited some friends, and got home and was met with everything that was going on. And Dad drove out into the field, down the road into the field just to look. And neighbors were out, and I drove down to the splash pad. Asked a couple ladies that were there, and I didn't even get to ask them. They said, we haven't seen a little boy. And I was like, you haven't seen a blonde-haired, blue-eyed little boy come down here? And they said, no, we haven't seen him at all. And I think I drove, it gets blurry.
Mm-hmm. I can imagine.
I drove back up into the neighborhood. I drove down to the end of 9th, and I was, screaming Michael's name. People were coming out and asking what was going on. And then there were people on their four-wheelers, ATV, like just side-by-sides, cars. I think at 8:17, I called my boss, and I was like, I can't find him. I can't find my baby. I don't know what to do. And she was here in a heartbeat. I called Kira. We're speaking with police. Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue was here. It was definitely when it got dark, because I remember when it started to get dusk, I panicked. I panicking to Kira, the detective, like, it's getting dark. Why haven't we not found anything? Seeing them come in, and why are they here? Why are the ambulances here? And they were just here to help.
So in other words, all the town came together to nobody really understood why he was missing. It was as many bodies as we can get out there. Let's start looking for him.
There were people from New Plymouth, Payette, and Ontario, Oregon. The streets were covered, cars, people everywhere. The park, the fields, people were out with flashlights, and when it got dark, even before it got dark, the streets were covered in people and families, kids on bikes, people putting their kids in strollers and just screaming his name.
How big is the town of Fruitland?
A little over 5,000.
Okay, so I'm sure the word was spreading quickly. It's a close-knit town, and so volunteers were out.
Everywhere.
That day, that night, as it's been hours, you heard the phone call at work, and now you're home, and it's been hours. What are you thinking? Somebody took him.
I didn't believe that he just wandered off and got hurt or got stuck into something. There was no way, with the amount of people that were here immediately and continuously through the night, that, especially when it hit dark.
Did everybody else seem to understand that too, that was helping you look, or were there some people that thought he might have wandered off?
There was a lot of people that thought he might have wandered off. I mean, there's a lot of fields, there's a lot of irrigation canals and everything like that. But Michael is very familiar with the hazards of irrigation canals. He's never been out in the fields. He's never wandered out in the fields. Honestly, if he would have wandered anywhere, he's attempted once to get to the park by himself, and that was because he overheard his big brother going. And this was a little over a year and a half ago, I want to say.
Okay.
But he was caught wandering down 9th by Grandpa, and because Grandpa was coming home, and he hadn't been out by himself out front like that.
Yeah. So you sense this as his mom, that someone took him?
Honestly, within the first hour that I was home, when I called my boss, I had that panic. Because we should have been able to find him. He wouldn't have gotten that far. Not in the time frame that from when Tyler was watching changing Buggy because she woke up from nap, to smoke a cigarette and eat or order pizza. And Michael's not in the backyard playing. Michael's not in the living room. He's nowhere in the house. He's not on our street when Tyler, was yelling for him. He couldn't have gotten that far. He was in flip-flops. I had just bought those flip-flops for him 3 days prior because he kept putting mine on. And so I was at work and I seen him and I was like, oh, perfect. They're his size. Awesome. So he was just learning how to walk in flip-flops. And when they first are learning how to walk in flip-flops, it's not really walking. It's kind of they're, scooting along.
What was everybody else saying, out looking?
They couldn't believe we weren't finding him. Is there a friend's house he would go to, or, where did you last see him? And
Right. And at this point, I'm sure your entire neighborhood and everyone that knew him knew that he was missing.
Yeah.
What law enforcement were out looking for him at this point?
Fruitland PD was here.
Okay.
Payette. Forgive me when the time is because it all kind of went into each other. But we had Boise Police Department, Garden City, Weiser, Payette County or Payette Police Department, Fruitland Police Department, Star.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Right by Boise.
Yeah. So we had a lot of surrounding law enforcement here assisting Fruitland PD.
Okay.
The fire department, Fruitland Fire Department, the Fruitland EMTs, St. Luke's, the St. Luke's, I don't know, it's their helicopter that transfers patients. Yeah, yes, was out searching the fields.
So helicopter even was out.
Helicopter. People with drones, community members that had drones. I think the Sand Hollow Fire Department had brought theirs out. Boise Police Department, I believe, brought theirs out also.
Was there an Amber Alert done that night?
No, there was not. The Fruitland Police Department did try to get one issued, but there are 6 criteria, and they apparently are suggested criteria. They are not
mandatory, but suggested.
Right. One of the ones that Michael did not meet was that there was a vehicle or abductor. Okay. And 2 was that it was unknown if he was abducted.
Which is interesting because when children disappear without a witness, that's why they're missing.
Right.
It's not known what happened.
Exactly. He did meet the requirements of them attempting within 12 hours to get one. He was entered in the NCIC. Basically, when he was entered into that, every police department in the United States would know if Michael was found where he belonged.
Okay.
So that goes out. My understanding from what they told me that night, that every law enforcement agency would have the picture of Michael, his information, where he went missing from. That's one of their suggested requirements, I guess, rules.
Okay.
He was within, I want to say, 2.5 hours after Michael was known to be missing. To be, another one was to be known in imminent danger, or possible death.
Right.
He's 5.
I was just going to say he's a 5-year-old who's alone.
There were 4 endangered missing persons alerts put out for him. One, I believe the first one was at 8:20, and the last one I want to say was around 11:30 p.m. that night. It's called Code Red, and it goes out via text message, email, phone call. But the thing is it's an elected app, or you have to be signed up to get that alert.
It doesn't go out to every person's phone in the area like an Amber Alert would do.
No.
Okay.
So it did start out in our local neighborhoods around, and then they spread it out. They went county, or like city, then county. I'm not sure how far the last one went, but like I said, you have to be signed up to get that. There were, lots of people on our front yard, and when one of the alerts did go out, there were some police officers that didn't even get it. Tyler and I didn't get it. And finding out later. So yes, it can be an effective tool, but I do not believe it was as effective as an Amber Alert would have been.
So looking back, are those things that it sounds like you're very disheartened by that happened that night?
Yeah, I'm on a mission about that one.
Okay. To change the Amber Alert, tell me about what you hope with that mission.
The suggested criteria, suggested. I believe, honestly, law enforcement should be able to use that at their discretion.
Yeah.
If they believe that a child has been, the extensive searches have gone on and no sign, what harm is it going to do to issue an Amber Alert? There has been talk about people becoming desensitized to it, because if we issue an Amber Alert for every time a child goes missing and say they're only missing for 3 hours or whatever, I in my opinion, I wouldn't care. My phone can blow up all damn day long. Sorry.
Yeah.
But knowing the extensive searching that had already been done, what was the harm in issuing an Amber Alert for him?
Right. And at this point, he'd been missing how many hours too? You were looking into the night.
Tyler and I didn't stop. I know Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue. It was 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. There was community members still out 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. It was about 7 o'clock. The Red Cross helicopter was flying around the field by, I want to say 7:30 a.m., 8 o'clock.
Okay. And you and Tyler didn't stop. You just kept. What do we know now?
Law enforcement saying that there's a possibility that he's been abducted. I believe and I know that he's been abducted because there's been so many searches. There's been so many resources used. Tell me what else has happened. Mm-hmm. What he didn't, just vanish into thin air. He didn't fly away. I mean,
the canals have been searched, Yeah.
The canals, they had divers in some of the bigger canals. I remember at the end of our street, there's a pretty big canal, and it has a lot of overgrowth, and it's pretty fast moving. A lot of the farm fields feed into that one. Mm-hmm. And we were out front. We lived in our front yard for months. There were fire trucks and ambulance, and looking at looking down the road, and what is going on? Like, why are there sirens going off? Mm-hmm. So I walked down there, and there's a lot of FBI agents. There's law enforcement. And the one FBI agent walked up, and he's like, you really shouldn't be here. And I'm like, the hell, I shouldn't be here. Like, And I sat my ass down, and my sister, apparently I wasn't breathing, and I was watching them put their dive stuff on, and then one of the firemen pulled this big hook thing off the fire truck, and I almost threw up right there, and I had to get up. So my sister-in-law brought her vehicle down, and we kind of sat there and waited. And there were people watching and just watching their body language and everything. They didn't find anything, but just that thought, what if he was? What if I will never forget that feeling for the rest of my life?
He hasn't been found in the water. He hasn't been found in any fields. He hasn't been found by helicopter. Has anybody seen anyone suspicious? Did anyone see anything that day? Any person?
Not as far as I know. They have identified almost 400 vehicles, I want to say.
That went by?
That were in the area. If I remember correctly, what I was told, that every 30 seconds a car passes through on 8th. And that is the only way to come in and out of the neighborhoods, is coming on 8th. You can come off Whitley or the highway into 8th, but unless you're using a farm road, they've identified where all those vehicles were, where they were going, who they belong to. Is how they were able to figure out where all these vehicles were, and they did a roadblock too at one point, finding out where everybody was going, how many people were in the vehicle, what address they lived at. There's CCTV or cameras coming in, and that's how they were able to catch those vehicles. Unfortunately, can't get it clear enough to see license plate numbers, but they're pretty damn good detectives, I'll tell you what. And then there was a man with a white shirt and black shorts, dark facial hair, dark hair, walking through the park down into the canal area behind the park.
Oh, wow. Has his photo been released, even if blurry?
No. Under my impression is that he was walking away from our neighborhood, not towards the time when Michael was missing.
Okay.
So I don't know all the details on that. It is an ongoing investigation. So
Fruitland is sort of, as you kind of point out, you worked in a different city, and you can drive through there, and it's on the way to Oregon, onto Ontario. Is that right? Could it have been someone passing through then, possibly?
Possibly. You can get where we live. We live on kind of the outskirts of Fruitland. The farther you get going towards the freeway, the off ramps, on and off ramps, you can go towards Oregon, or you can go towards Boise. There are back roads that you can go follow through to like New Plymouth, and you can get to Boise from New Plymouth. You could easily be on the highway and be gone.
Have they checked offenders in the area?
Yes. That was, I think, one of the first things that they were looking into. I do know that for a fact. Where were you? Parole officers were, I believe, brought in too,
Right.
All of the above. They searched every single person's garbage can in our neighborhood and the other 3 neighborhoods that are opposite of us on 8th.
You're living every mother's biggest nightmare. I'm sure that you never thought you would be this mother, being interviewed about your monkey, your Michael. Do you feel like that he's getting enough attention? Do you feel like people are aware of what's going on?
No, I don't. I don't. There are people in Idaho that are just now learning about Michael's case, like that he's missing. So I'm trying to do everything I can to make sure. My goal is I want everybody in the world to see his face. I want everybody to know about him.
What can we as the public do to help?
Share his picture. Don't forget about him. Just if you see a place that doesn't have a picture up of him, post a flyer, reshare a flyer. I get a lot of messages, and I try my best to respond, but it's not always nice.
Right. Share his picture everywhere.
You can support Michael. If you find a blue light, put it up, please.
A blue light.
Favorite color.
Front porch light.
Because it was a nightmare. Like this can't be fucking happening. Despair, sadness.
When you woke up the next day,
I didn't.
You didn't wake up.
I didn't sleep.
You didn't sleep. When the next day came.
Yeah. She had to force me to go to bed.
And you still didn't have your Michael. What were you feeling?
Despair, sadness. And my heart was broken. I was still broken. Fear. Pure fear. I actually, Tyler had to pick me up. I collapsed when the helicopter flew over. Because it was a nightmare. Like, this can't be fucking happening. I couldn't believe this is happening. I still, it's a never-ending nightmare.
How are you functioning today?
That is the hardest question. It took a long time. People would ask, well, and it's not anybody being mean or rude or anything like that. It's
We just don't know how to answer.
Don't know how to answer. Because I don't know how I'm doing. I'm sad. I'm scared. I'm miserable. I'm lots of counseling. Getting through each day.
It sounds like law enforcement now believe, along with you, that Michael was likely abducted. Although that was a doubt in their mind at first. What changed their direction or their minds?
The extensive searches. Not finding a single sign. They flew in special dogs from around the country. They brought in cadaver dogs. It was about 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago they did? Okay. I believe so. And then along with the cadaver dogs, they brought in some scent dogs. And went through acres, miles and miles of fields, farmland, neighbors, houses, just so they could say for 100% sure that they didn't miss anything.
And they didn't.
They didn't.
I can't imagine a missing child. I can't imagine losing a child. To not have an answer seems like it would be incredibly difficult to not know.
It's the darkest feeling I think you could ever have in the world. The not knowing. The not knowing if he's being taken care of, if he's happy, if he's okay, if he's hurt, every second of every day, you don't know. So I don't think there could be any worse feeling in the world.
Do you have hope?
I'll never give up hope. I'll never give up faith. We're going to find him. We're going to bring him home. I believe that.
Being in this situation, understanding what it's like to be on this side that so many, of us can't even imagine what you're going through. What do you want the public to understand or the public to know about missing children where we can help?
Be supportive. Be kind. The families of missing children are living through hell on earth, not knowing where their baby is. And honestly, you have no idea what you would do or what you would say or how you would act. There's been so much of the, well, I would do this, I would do that. I pray that not one of those people ever has to feel in a single ounce of what we are going through on a daily basis. So and I pray that nobody ever has to. You've lived that situation or you've walked a second in that situation. Don't tell a mother or a father that you know what you would do because you don't know what you do. So just be kind and be thankful that pray that you never have to feel an ounce of this heartache or this heartbreak ever.
Are law enforcement still actively looking? Are you afraid this is going to go cold? Are people looking?
Oh, no. No, it's what I meant when I said that I was afraid that Michael's case was going cold was because his case wasn't getting attention from public, I guess. But no, there are some very, very, very dedicated officers, FBI agents. They live, eat, breathe, sleep, trying to find Michael, trying to find answers. So I have this faith in them. I know they're following up on every lead and every tip that they get. They're not going to tell me every single one. And I kind of appreciate that because the ups and downs of all of it is very difficult. Thank you for helping me and helping us get Michael's story out there. Everyone that continues to share his story, share his picture, everyone who just continues to be supportive. Thank everyone. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Brandi.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. How are you doing? Are you okay?
No.
And that's okay to not be okay. That was a good answer to be able to share.
Yeah.
Is there something we can do for you?
Don't let anyone lose sight of my brother, please. That's my baby too.
On November 11th, 2022, the Fruitland Police Department executed a search warrant. According to court documents, police executed a search warrant at the Wondra residence around 9:30 p.m. on Friday. Upon entering the home, they found Sarawondra in the living room, where she was detained and read the search warrant. As officers reviewed the document, which mentioned murder, Wondra reportedly reacted by repeatedly asking, "Did you just say murder?" She then told police, "I have never murdered anyone," according to the affidavit from the Fruitland Police Department. Wondra maintained her innocence, insisting, "I definitely did not kill that boy." She also claimed that the High Most God already told me who did it, reportedly adding, "Oh, wow, the Most High God just told me that Stacy was the one who killed him and buried him in the yard of the neighbor's house." When police asked her to point out where Michael Vaughan's body might be buried, Wondra described a spot near the entry of their residence and indicated that Stacy had buried the boy in the backyard by the shed. By the time of her arrest, police had already begun digging portions of the Wondra's yard based on information they received from Staceywondra, though he had not yet been arrested or charged by Monday afternoon. The details of when or why law enforcement had spoken to Stacy were not clarified. Sarawondra allegedly told police that God had revealed to her that Stacy was the one responsible for Michael's death and that she knew the body was buried in the neighbor's yard because "that's what Stacy just told me." She quickly corrected herself, claiming instead that it was God who had informed her. Despite these statements, Wondra reiterated that she had no involvement in Michael Vaughan's disappearance. She maintained that while her husband had buried Michael in their backyard, she did not believe he was the one who harmed the boy. She instead claimed that a man named Adrian was responsible for the boy's death and that Adrian was too scared to come forward.
They questioned me in November of 2022, interrogated the fuck out of me.
How long did they interrogate you for?
I think they did it multiple days. It was like 3 days, but it was probably 2, 3, 4 hours at a time.
Wow.
I think the longest one went like 5 hours.
So was this over a period of 1 day or multiple days?
Multiple days.
Multiple days. Was this before or after the excavation? Or I would assume before, because that you're the one that tipped them off to get it all started, right?
Tina Morale, Brandonshirtliff's mother, described how she welcomed law enforcement into her home when they came to investigate. They gave them food and water, prayed with them, and allowed them to run their dogs and people through my house and yard, she said. She added that during the search, police discovered a leaking toilet in her home, a finding she was thankful for. She also recounted an incident where a cadaver dog allegedly smelled the poop outside, near a vent and crawl space near her leaking toilet. Morale seemed to suggest this was a potential lead in the investigation. However, Mark Sullivan, the public relations director for Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, a team heavily involved in the search for Michael, disputed this claim. Sullivan, who consulted with canine experts on his team, clarified that cadaver dogs are not trained to alert on human feces. He further explained that each dog has a specific response to the scents it is trained to detect, and that untrained individuals might not recognize when a dog has alerted its handler. I've never heard of a canine dog being trained to find feces, Sullivan said in a text message. Morale responded to the search efforts, writing that law enforcement returned with 17 vehicles, dogs, and shovels to dig in the area where the dog had allegedly indicated. They found nothing but my leaking toilet, she said. We have cooperated fully since this all began. Our attorney will probably be calling a press conference for all this slander. When asked why Shirtless hasn't returned to Idaho, Morale stated that his attorney is handling the matter. She defended her son's character, saying, I know my son's heart. He loves kids, animals, the elderly. He has such a tender heart. He always giving to all he has. He would give his last morsel of food or his only shirt. He just always seems to choose the wrong type of people to be friends with. KTVB reached out to law enforcement for clarification on Morale's comments, but they declined to elaborate due to the ongoing nature of the investigation. KTVB also visited Morale's home in Kuna for further comment, but she did not answer the door. In a press conference held in December of 2022, police revealed they had conducted a warrantless search of a home in Kuna, but did not provide additional details. Law enforcement clarified that a warrant is not necessary if the homeowner voluntarily grants permission for the search.
Is the duct tape still going to be over his mouth?
They should be.
Okay.
I didn't want to take them off.
Okay.
So you should have everything intact as it was.
A TikTok conversation between Brandonshirtliff and an anonymous person on January 14th, starting at 7:38 a.m. Brandon, who the fuck are you, and why you keep blasting me on the TikTok, mother ducker? Brandon, if I knew who you were, I might want to skip the tape and knock your fucking teeth in, pal. 100%. Anonymous person. Is that what you did to Michael? Hacking me won't work, by the way. I ain't as dumb as you. Why did you take Michael to your mom's house if you didn't want to be involved? Make that make sense. Anonymous person. I'd be happy to meet you in person at the location you and Sarah put Michael. Brandon, I'd be willing to snipe your head off your fucking body if you think I would ever do something like that, bitch. Who the fuck are you, bitch? And who you think you fucking with, bitch? Anonymous person. I'm a pretty good shot, too. Brandon, cool. We will talk first. Then we will bare knuckle box. Anonymous person. Cool. Where's Michael? Brandon. And if that don't work, maybe a duel with swords. Brandon. What you want to do? Anonymous person. You put him in Lake Lowell? Brandon. I don't know. You tell me, Mother Tucker. Anonymous person. Or under some concrete? It's fucker. Just for your information. Brandon. You want me to skip and just hit you with the 100-round clip? Anonymous person. Do it.
Brandon put him in the cat room, bound up, but then the next day they moved him back here.
Bound up in Tina Morale's guest bedroom? Question. Why continue to protect Brandon, such a mama's boy? We will uphold Brandi's pinky promise to her son. We will not give up until we find where Michael is. Michael Monkey Vaughan, taken, July 27th, 2021, Fruitland, Idaho. After a leaked video surfaced on YouTube showing Staceywondra providing crucial information to law enforcement about the whereabouts of missing Michael Vaughan, a significant development occurred in the case. The video, which captured Wondra speaking with police, revealed that he directed officers to a specific area in the backyard of a property located just blocks away from the Vaughan family home in Fruitland, Idaho. In the footage, Wondra indicated that this area is the key location in the search for the young boy. Following the release of this video, a suspect came forward to the Fruitland Police Department. The individual's decisions to come forward add a fresh layer of intrigue to the investigation, potentially bringing law enforcement closer to uncovering the truth about Michael Vaughan's disappearance. Authorities are now actively pursuing leads and evaluating this new development in their ongoing effort to locate the missing child.
Temple Lucien, is this you? On the day of Michael Vaughan's disappearance, July 27, 2021. In Nampa, Idaho, 35 minutes. From Fruitland, Idaho. You flew up from California, correct? Why? You lived with the Wondras for months, correct? Both before, during and after Michael's abduction? Finally nice to get a visual on your appearance that day. Photo credit. Brandonshirtliff. Oh but Brandon, you may want to revisit your explanation of that day though, because surveillance seems to have witnessed you and your girlfriend Sarawondra picking up Adrian from Applebee's, as pictured, shortly after 4:47 p.m. Leaves plenty of time to drive back to Fruitland before Michael Vaughan's abduction. If anyone's seen this Adrienlucienne, with his friends Sarawondra, Staceywondra and Brandonshirtliff, and probably more, and have any information, please contact Fruitland Police Department. Tips can remain anonymous. Possible vehicle they were driving July 27th pictured as well.
Hey everybody, I'm here today. It is Friday, January 24th, 2025. Michael Joseph Vaughan was abducted on July 27th of 2021. It has been 1,277 days since Michael has not been home. Fruitland Police Department, the FBI, many other agencies have diligently, tirelessly worked effortlessly to help find Michael and bring him home and get justice for Michael. There have been 4 named suspects in Michael's case. Staceywondra, Sarawondra, Brandonshirtliff, and Adrienlucienne. I went and spoke with the prosecuting attorney, Mike Duke's office this afternoon. I saw the complete file documents for the charges for those 4 suspects that will be brought to them. As hard as they were all to see them in words put tears on those papers. justice is coming. As those papers are drawn, Fruitland Police Department are continuously and still working on leads and suspects that are speaking to law enforcement, as well as other persons of interest in Michael's case. They're doing a tremendous job, all of them, and they're working together. We stand with them. It was amazing to see, and as heartbreaking it is to see. Nobody's giving up. And those charges, they are coming. I saw them in black and white. Thank you, everybody that continues to support the law enforcement and our justice system, our Plea County justice system. They're going to get justice for Michael. So, Sarah, Stacy, Brandon, Adrian, charges are coming. We know what you did. Tell us where Michael is. Because no matter what, justice will come. And we will find Michael. Monkeys Army will never give up. Thank you everyone again for your support. Continue and pray for answers. And please continue to support our law enforcement and the prosecuting attorney who will be trying these suspects in the abduction of our son, Michael Joseph Vaughan. Monkey. Monkey? Baby? I promised. We keep fighting every day. Pinky promise, my love. Be kind, everyone. I'll be in touch.
If you have any information in the disappearance of Michael Vaughan, please call the Fruitland Police Department at 208-452-3001, or you can also call the Plea County Sheriff's Office at 208-642-6006. If for some reason you need to remain anonymous, you can contact Crime Stoppers at 208-343-COPS. That's 208-343-2677. A reward of nearly $53,000 is being offered for Michael's return. Brenton J. Duckett, missing since August 27th, 2006, from Leesburg, Florida. Age now 20 years old, male. Brenton's photo is shown, age progressed to 17 years. He was last seen at approximately 7 p.m. on August 27th, 2006. Brenton is biracial. He is Asian and white. Brenton has a small mark over his left eye. Brenton was last seen wearing denim shorts and a green and blue striped shirt. If you have any information on Trenton Duckett, or if you can see him, please contact the Leesburg Police Department in Florida at 1-352-787-2121 or call 911.